Okay, here we go. All right, so the answers on these papers, folks, are as follows. For the trig quiz, okay, number one, they should have had 4/4 equals 1. Number two, I mean, you should see some work there, folks. 4/4 equals 1. If you don't, you need to ask. I have this posted on my homework page if you need to print a copy of this. The answers are all there. Here we go. It's all good. So number 4 on that quiz said you had to find the reference angle, reference number for 13 pi over 8, correct? All right, now look. Okay. Okay. All right. All you have to do is you have to think about where this angle is going to be graphed. Okay? Now you know 1/2 of a revolution is 1 pi. Do you guys agree with that? So it's going to be 8 pi over 8. Why did I choose 8 as my denominator? Because that's what's in my original denominator. Okay? Holden? You're right. That's all you have to do. It's totally fine. Can I finish and then I'm going to let you interject? Okay. All right. 8 pi over 8, because you have to understand why. You understand why, because it's a multiple of 8. How do you get the multiple of 8? Because 1 complete revolution is how much? 16 pi over 8. Why is it 16 pi over 8? Because that's equivalent to 2 pi. Do you agree? Okay? Where is 13 pi going to be? Here. 13 pi. How do I know? Because what's half of 8? 4. Which means this is 12 pi over 8. We've got to figure out that piece right there. The shortest distance to the x-axis. All you have to do is take 16 pi minus 13 pi. And it's 3 pi. Over what? 8. Now, Holden, explain what you're saying. And explain it loud so it can be picked up. Yes, you do. Say it exactly like you did. Just let that sit.
You subtract the numerator from the next multiple of the denominator.
Okay. It has to be equivalent to 2 pi, though.
Yeah, the closest
So
denominator.
if our denominator, if we had, I don't know,
Make it a big
17 pi over 5, you're going to take what number away from 17?
20. No, 15, because it's only 2.
I know. What's 2 pi? It has 5.
Yes.
It's going to be 10.
10.
Right.
17 minus 10.
And if you need it, that's why I show you this way. All right? 5, that's 15, 17, right? What's the shortest way? That's 10, 15. You said 15, my bad.
Yeah.
17 pi minus 15 pi, which is 3 pi over 5.
Closest one.
Closest. That's right. 2 pi. Thanks. Right? It has to do with fractions. Oh, my Lord. Right. All right, so do you need to see another one for the reference? Yes? All right, here. Reference number 4. Let's go. 15 pi over 12. Okay. I draw it every time because I have to. I need to see this. Do you understand where I'm getting the 12 pi and the 24 pi from? Okay? And then I'm going to graph it. And I know that 15's got to fall here. Okay? Because it's 12, 13, 14, 15. And then what's the closest distance back to the x-axis? Bless you. It's going to be 12 pi. So I'm going to take 15 pi over 12. And I'm going to subtract 12 pi. And it gives me 3 pi over 12. Now, what would you do in this case? Simplify. 3 pi over 12 is going to be what? Pi over 4. And all we're doing is simplifying. I probably would count either one of those correct. Okay? Does that help? Graph it. Y'all know I'm a firm believer in pictures. Visual, 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 visual. Okay? Draw the angle. If you could draw the angle for this unit, you ought to be good to go on any of it. Okay? Does that help? Yeah? Any other questions between the reference number and 6? All right, let's look at number 6. Number 6 on this quiz, whatever, I just counted it as, it only counts once. We were given sine t is negative 5/6, and the terminal point lies in Q4, right? Now, what you're going to do, again, draw your coordinate plane. This angle is where? It's in the 4th quadrant. So draw your angle in the 4th quadrant. Drop that altitude because I want to form a right angle. T is my angle closest to the origin. You with me so far? Okay? I'm given sine of t is 5/6. Do I pay any attention to this negative sign as it relates to the lengths of the triangle sides? No, because I cannot have a negative length, right? That just helps me for placement purposes. Okay, watch what's going to end up happening. Sine is some old horse. Called a horse taking oats away. Some old horse. Opposite over hypotenuse. So I'm going to label my triangle. The side opposite T is that vertical side. The hypotenuse, of course, is across from the right angle. How do I find the third side? Pythagorean theorem. Okay? My hypotenuse is 6. A leg is 5. So 36, 25, minus 25. And we get 11 is equal to the leg squared. How do I solve for the leg? Square root of both sides. So the leg is equal to root 11. Correct? Yep. All right. So there it is. Now I've got everything I need. Now, I always on my picture, all-star trig class. If you will look at my notes that I put on the homework page, you'll see that I always have this in my picture. What are the signs for the ordered pairs in the 4th quadrant? Positive, negative. That means cosine is positive, sine is negative. Tangent has to be what? Negative. Because the only thing that's going to be positive is cosine, and that's what my all-star trig class tells me. Okay? Now that I've done all that, can I find all 6 trig functions? Yes. Okay? All right, here we go. Using that picture, sine was given to us. I don't need it. Some old horse. 5 over root 11. I got a 5 over 6, my fault. Thank you. Opposite over hypotenuse. Thank you. Okay? I'm going to go back and do put in the signs later. Okay? Let's check on cosine. Cosine. Some old horse caught a horse. Root 11 over 6. Do you agree with that? Yeah? Okay. Tangent. Some old horse caught a horse taking oats away. 5 over root 11. What do I have to do? I have to rationalize. So I'm going to multiply by root 11 over root 11, which gives me 5 root 11 over plain old 11. You with me so far? Now I'm going to go back and put my signs in. Okay? What's the only one that can be positive? According to the fourth quadrant, cosine's the only one that's positive. Sine was given to us as a negative. Tangent has to be negative. Okay? Now we have to find their reciprocals. Cosecant of t is going to be 6 over 5. That value has to be negative. Secant of t is going to be 6 over root 11. What's wrong with that? I got to what? Rationalize it. 6 root 11 over 11. And now I've got to find cotangent. And have y'all figured out where to go to flip this thing over? Is it easier to flip this number or that first number? Look at it. What's going to cause us less work? The first one. So flip it, root 11 over 5, and make sure that that value has to be what? Negative. Don't forget that sign. That's all you do. That's it. Every single time it asks you for those 6 trig functions. Other questions on this problem? Okay. You're told that tangent of t is 1, and it's in Q3, right? All right, so my angle's in the third quadrant. I draw my triangle. T. All-star trig class. Okay? I'm going to go and put my signs in, and negative, negative, positive. Cosine, sine, tangent. Is that correct? Is tangent and cotangent the only 2 trig functions that will be positive? Yes. Okay. Now, 1. Tangent is 1 over 1. Some old horse caught a horse taking oats away. Right on? Tangent. Opposite over adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. You with me? You ought to know that this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. If you don't, then Pythagorean equation. You ought to recognize the pattern with the 1 and the 1. The hypotenuse will be root 2. Okay? Here we go. Hypotenuse. Did you find this value? You see what I'm doing? Okay. Do you want I'm done? Didn't know how. Okay. So the hypotenuse is root 2. You're cool with finding all the values. Okay. Everybody fine with this? Do you need to see it worked out? Cool. All right. Somebody said 8, I think. Find the length of the arc if the radius is 10 and the angle, whatever, theta is 135 degrees. And it said find the length of the arc. Folks, what formula are you use? S equals theta r. Okay? Do I have to do any kind of conversion before I start throwing numbers in that formula? Why? Change the degrees to radians. I said yesterday before you did this, the only thing that can go into that value of theta or come out of that value of theta is what? Radians. Please write that down. 135 over 1 What's my conversion factor? And folks, this is all calculator. It's a no-brainer. But was it 135 divided? Shoot. 135 divided by 180, right? Which gives you 3 pi over 4. Oh, that's about 45. So 90, that's 3. That's 4. 3 pi over 4. Okay? Put that in place of theta. The radius is 10. And folks, it's just calculator work. 2 goes into 4 2 times, goes into 10 5 times, and you'll get 15 pi over 2. Do not leave your answer like that. This is a linear measure. Have you ever measured anything with a yardstick, with a tape measure, that was 15 pi over 2 inches long? Nope. You sure have not. You lie. Put it in the calculator. Megan, will you cut that on for me? Please. Thank you. Sorry. And I can't help you there. I would put this in parentheses. 15 pi divided by 2. 23.6. Okay? Approximately 23.6 whatevers. That was the 4 decimal one? Okay. That's right, it is. 5619. Thank you. And whatever the units of measure. I don't remember. Might not have been on there. Are you cool with that one? Any others?
12.
Do you see what you did wrong on the Are you making careless mistakes, or do you truly not know what you're doing? If you don't know what you're doing, do not settle for not knowing what you're doing. Okay? You said number 12?
Yeah, I think I might have not changed.
What? 9, 11, and 12. Here we go. You better write something on your paper. Central angle theta in a circle of radius 10 is subtended by an arc of length 4 meters. Find theta. So we're finding the angle. Which formula am I going to use? How do you know S equals theta R? How do you know that's the one you're going to use? Because it tells you arc length. Arc length is S equals theta R. Here we go. What do I plug where? What goes in place of S? Does anything? 4 does. We're finding theta. What's the radius? 10. Seriously? Yep. Divide by 10. Theta is 4/10 or 2/5 or 0.4 watts. Why radians? Because that's the only thing that can come out of theta. Theta is an angle. Okay? Here we go. 0.4 over 1 radians. What's my conversion factor? And then it's calculator work. Okay? 0.4 times 180. Please be on. Divided by pi. 22.9 degrees. $22.9. Holden, does that help you? You know what you're doing wrong? Okay. Yes, you absolutely can have it. Did you have that? You did have that? I'll fix that. Okay? Yeah, 4/10 is acceptable. But I didn't say it. I said 2/5 or 0.4. when I was calling out the answers? Did you have 4/10? Okay, if you had 4/10, 2/5, or 0.4 for the radians on that problem, circle that number and come back to me so I can fix that, okay? Because that is correct, either of those. That's my bad for not saying. You said 10? 10, find the length of the arc. Arc length. Radius is 7 meters. Central angle, the arc subtends a central angle of 5 radians. How do I know that theta is 5 radians? Because it's the angle. It's the angle. Okay. Arc length, which formula? Everybody. S equals theta R. Okay. Arc length is what we're looking for. Theta is 5 radians. Do I have to convert it? Why not, Joseph? It's already in radians. Radius 7. 35 meters.
Yeah. I like that you did that. 35.
Theta can only, we only put what values into theta? Radians. What are the only values we get out of theta? Radians. Okay. 11. 11 says circular arc length. The arc length is 80 feet. Central angle theta is 105 degrees. What's the radius? Oh, what formula? Same one. Arc length is 80. Theta, 105. Why? Thank you. So I'm going to take 105 degrees, and I'm going to convert it. What's my conversion factor, folks? Pi over 180. How come when I stand up here, you can answer these questions? Because you're scared. So I will sit up here, and I will walk, and I will peer at you tomorrow like this with my creepy eyes. And then I'll look at you like this, and I'll go, you better get them right. Yeah, it is. What is 105 pi over 180? What's that equal to? 7 pi over 12. Okay. 7 pi over 12. Radius is what we're trying to find. Folks, multiply by the reciprocal. Okay? Or divide by that value. If you are a calculator ninja, then you can do that. But if you are not a calculator ninja, I do not recommend it. Okay? 12 over 7 pi. I am a calculator ninja. Ask Ms. Harrell, she will tell you. I am all about them parentheses. Blah, 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 blah. I can put 4 sets of parentheses and I can get the problem right every time. But you guys are lazy and you do not want to put those parentheses in there. Now, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. See, mess with me, I will move you. 12 over 7 pi, 80 over 1. That's gone. Radius is equal to, it's straight multiplication across, folks. Or, calculator. Please be on. Daggone it. I don't know. The batteries are weak. I just made that up. I don't know. I don't know why. I know. All right, here we go. Calculator ninjas. 12 divided by parentheses 7 pi. I love parentheses because they're much like hugs. Times 80. They are like hugs. Parentheses are hugs. I love hugs. I do. I love good hugs.
If we busted in here was like, give me a hug,
No, you cannot do that. That would be inappropriate. You can't do that. You cannot violate the teacher like that. My children.
Other than your children.
My camp folk.
Like,
My peeps. I would totally hug you.
I know that, but would you be allowed to hug you in
I would totally hug you in school. If you were my kin people.
You know,
I would totally,
would you hug us outside of school?
maybe.
The other day-
Depends on the situation.
The other day, I come in from the morning, and Nate was right here. He was like, "You said come give me a hug or something," and his facial expression was.
He is so glad now that you just shared that on the World Wide Web. That he's a good little dude. He's a good dude. What was the thing? 43 point what? 43.7. There we go. You should be nice to old people. That's why he hugs me.
Is that a circle or a square?
It's everything. It's a blob. It's a blob. Yes?
Okay, and I was like, everything.
One problem with not doing the whole quiz. 12. Do 12, I'll go back to 1. All right, sector of a circle. Ooh, sector of a circle. Now things are switching up a little bit. And sector of a circle. 1/2 theta r squared, right on?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at what we're given. We're given that the radius is 26 feet. The area is 115 square feet, feet squared. We got to find the central angle in degrees. So 115 equals 1/2 of theta times 26 squared, right?
Right.
All right. It's just solving an equation.
What is that one?
26 squared is 676. Shh. What's half of 676?
338. I still got this part.
Divide both sides by 338. And you get theta is equal to 0.34. 0.34 what? Radians. And it wants, bless you, it wants the answer in degrees. So 0.34 radians times, what's our conversion factor?
180/5.
Calculator.
61.34.
Here we go. 0.34 times 180 divided by pi.
Oh, what I did, I didn't find
19.5. I mean, you're just multiplying across. What was it?
19.5.
That's your answer. Questions at all on that one? Did that help?
Yeah, I just.
Yeah? Okay. All right, go back to number 1. What is the unit circle? This is why I don't stand in front of y'all. What's the unit circle equation? And we were given negative root 3 over 2 and negative 1/2. I can't read it. Okay? Here we go. Stop talking. Stop talking. Plugging in the values, right? All right. A negative times negatives will yield a positive number, okay? Root 3 times root 3 is actually root 9, which gives you plain old 3. 2 squared is 4, right? Because you have to square the numerator and the denominator. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3/4 plus 1/4 is 4/4. That's all. Or you could have taken another step and written 1 is equal to 1. But do not think you can put on your paper 1 equals 1. Done. Nuh-uh. No. You have to show your work.
You have to prove it.
You have to prove it. It's a proof without doing a proof, okay?
Is the test going to be like this?
Yep. Yes, it is. I suggest you study. If you do not, not that you care. I won't be mad. I can get over being mad, but I will be disappointed. You got to improve your grade, folks. Every person in here can improve their grade.
So is
Pardon me? Exactly the same type of problems, nothing thrown in there that's weird.